Daniel Kuhn here at the Alexandria Gold Star for the Tri-State Football Season Kickoff Party. I'm here with the Holmes Bulldogs, Coach Jon Hopkins, DeMarcus Foster, Conscious Johnson, Devin Duvernay, and Zarian Foster here with me as well. Coach, we'll start off with you. First year as a head coach, stepping into a new role, but you've been with the program for 25 years. Talk to me a little bit about the challenges of stepping into this role, and how are you taking it on, and how do you feel about it? How are you feeling about your team this year?
Well, I feel pretty positive about our team. We have a great group of young men that have come out this year. One of the goals when I took over the program is to try to increase the numbers. We've done that. We've got about 40 players out. The biggest challenge that we have is about 20 of those are freshmen, and so we're freshman junior dominated. So we're very experienced as of right now. So the challenge will be to grow as a team. Some of the kids are being thrust into big roles that they're not used to. So we have a couple of young men here that'll be taking on big roles this year, and so. The outlook on the season is pretty positive, and we're looking forward to the challenges that we have set forth in front of us.
You talk about the inexperience from the head coach's point of view. How do you mold these guys, no matter what the experience they have, into being a cohesive, positive, successful football team?
Well, what we do is we challenge our kids every day. What I've done with these guys, as well as some of the veteran players, is to kind of put them in charge of the team. We let them roll, and pretty much we're going to follow those guys. I've been around Devin for 4 years. I've probably been around him longer than anybody on the team. He ran track for me as a middle schooler. His freshman year, last year, he just finished that. And so he kind of knows how I am as a coach and what I expect from a team. And so I've kind of leaned on him and some of these other guys more to kind of, represent me when I'm not around. So we want the kids to be the leaders of the team. And pretty much, like I said, I've been around the program for 25 years. I know all these guys. I know a lot of their families. And so it's just, just a different role to where we've got to get used to winning games, which we haven't done in the last couple of years. But we've got to get that mindset to where we can win and we will win.
I'll turn to my left here, and I'll start with you, Zarian. From your perspective as a senior going into your final year, what do you expect out of this team, and where can you guys improve this season?
We can just play with more intensity, increase in leadership, and just coming together and working harder every day to get better.
And your coach talked about a little bit of the inexperience of the team, a lot of freshmen coming in this year. As the senior and you're expected to take on that leadership role, how do you balance that with also the expectations you have for yourself and how you play on the field?
Just making sure that we're setting a standard in ourselves and just being accountable.
And I'll go over here to Devin Dunaway. Devin, Coach just talked about a little bit. You have a track background. You play slot receiver. How do you expect your season to go? What are you looking to get out of it, and how can you improve your game this year?
I'm looking to have a better season than I did last year. Last year was kind of like an underwhelming season for myself because I expected more out of me, but I think it's going to be a lot better this year.
And then, playing slot receiver, you kind of put in a position where you're often guarded by maybe not, two people at the same time, maybe just one. What can you do differently? Your game to game, snap to snap to, and give your team a better position on the field.
By doing what I'm told to, and doing my job on the field.
And I'll go over here to Conscious Johnson, the quarterback for the team. Conscious, being the quarterback is a large responsibility, but, for this team and, going into this season, looking to rebound and have a better year, what can you do for yourself to elevate your play and to make sure you put your team in the right position?
Probably make a connection with most of my teammates, play with them, have, out of all field connections, like going on the field, running routes together, throwing together, all that stuff.
And talk to me, going into the season, the quarterback has a lot of off-season stuff they have to get, playbooks, et cetera. How are you handling that, and how do you expect your game to play? How do you expect to play this year?
I'm handling it by studying, doing all that. And I'm a team player, so I expect to help the team and like run the team, help run the team, be a leader.
It seems like a recurring theme, leadership and being a junior, you have another year or so to, kind of mold yourself into that role. But from a quarterback's perspective, a lot rides on your shoulders. How do you handle that kind of pressure day to day, game to game?
Probably just chilling with my teammates. I love my teammates, all of them, and it's not really as stressful as I thought it would. So it's good. Like
DeMarcus Foster over here on the very end. Your coach mentioned to me that you play both offensive line and defensive line. How do you kind of go about, preparing yourself to play both ways at every game and put yourself in the right space physically and mentally to play both ways every game?
Well, all I really do is I just listen to my coaches, listen to what they tell me, and just install that in my head. Can't ever forget that when you're playing both ways.
Playing in the trenches, it's a difficult task. And how do you, what do you expect from the defensive side of the ball this year? How do you guys think you're going to play as a unit?
Defense, I think we're going to come out strong this year. I feel like we have a lot of talent on the defensive line, and I feel like our linebackers, they've changed a little bit, but I still think they got the same strength as they did last year.
Awesome. And then one of the questions I've been asking all the players is there a specific game on the schedule this year you guys have kind of, every game is important and you want to win every single one, but, everybody has a game that they, earmark a little bit on their schedule. And I asked you guys, and one of you said that it was Greene County, and it was you, Devin. Can you kind of explain that to me and, what that game means to you?
So I take some of my time out in my day to watch film about them. I kind of went over most of the teams, and the team I feel like we have the most shot of winning is Greene County, and I feel like that could be the game we break the streak.
Awesome. Coach, I have one last question for you. Going into this season, it's a new year. What would mark a success for you in this program this season?
Well, I think one of the things that I said to the team from day one, I said the streak will end. I don't know when that will be, but this losing streak will come to an end this year. One of the things I want to accomplish is, like I said, we started out with 40 players. I want to retain that amount of players for next year's team as well. If we can retain, from year to year, it's difficult to rebuild a team year in and year out, not knowing what you'll have. But if we can keep this team intact, and we want to be competitive. Our freshmen, like I said, we're heavy with freshmen. We have a competitive freshman schedule to where we want those guys to get experience, so that from year to year we want to keep growing this thing. And so in 2 years we plan on getting back into a district, and we want to be competitive in that district. And so that's kind of what my focus is right now, is just to get the kids to be competitive, trusting each other, and then the little things will take care of themselves.
Well, that is the Holmes Bulldogs. I'm Daniel Kuhn for Tri-State Football here at Alexandria Gold Star for our season kickoff party.